So I'm Tanzina. I'm going to present the clean level movement using Chitosan as a natural preservative. So I'm just going to a little bit introduction about myself. I did my bachelor and MSc from University of Dhaka, Bangladesh. And in 2010, I moved to Canada for my PhD, and I completed my PhD in 2015 from University of Quebec. And then I started my company, Kainova Bioworks, in 2015, and it officially launched in 2016. And once we were doing our R&D development and we were thinking of the development of our research that we really need for our product development, we applied for MITEX fellowship, the industrial fellowship. And through that fellowship, I got postdoctoral fellowship at UNB. I'm currently at UNB. I'm doing my research for Chitosan from mushroom extract. So why this Chitosan from mushroom? Because we all know that Chitosan is normally we are getting from marine sources. So why we are focusing on mushroom now? So in all food industry, their consumers are now focused on clean level. So clean level isn't just a trend anymore. It's becoming a reality within worldwide impact. Actually, it comes from the food safety. So food safety and clean leveling are highly related. So why consumer wants this? Because consumers are really concerned about food that they are consuming every day. So they want very simple, authentic, and real food. So they want their food should be free from synthetic hormones or antibiotics or synthetic preservatives. So if we look for the major consumer shifts to clean level, we can see that 30% of the consumer are looking for no artificial ingredients in their foods. And in 2015, there's new food and beverages launched that's completely clean labels. And we are expecting that it will be increased 14% by natural organic by 2020. So the growing demand for natural preservatives, it's a small market research. In food, actually, the consumer demands is growing like 3.3% until 2021. But in beverages, it's growing from 82 million to 773 million. But in this field, the natural preservatives, it's growing like 8.8%. That's 395 million to 6 million. So the companies have a tough choice to make. The company already, if you look the ingredients, they are trying to replace their ingredients from synthetic to natural. Like in meat, if we look the ingredients, it's already there's present in sodium benzoate or potassium sorbate. So they are trying to get rid of that synthetic preservatives. But synthetic preservatives, the companies are used to with that because it's very cheap, but its public perception is unhealthy and it's ruined the clean levels. But the natural preservatives, it's not cheap as compared to synthetic preservatives. It's obviously less effective than synthetic preservatives, and it has limited spectrum activities and few viable commercial options. But we are trying to improve that problems. So what's Kainova's innovative preservatives? That Kainova, actually mainly we are working now food and beverage. Our next target is cosmetics and biomedical, but now we are only focusing on food and beverage. So food and beverage company want a clean level ingredients. That's our mushroom extract. And they want their product will be protected from all microorganisms. So we are developing a product, a broad spectrum product that will be working against like bacteria, yeast, and fungi, all of this microorganism. And also it will not be only an antimicrobial, it will be an antimicrobial and parallelly an antioxidant. So that's a preservative also, it needs to be easy to use. So there's another condition that the chemical compounds or the natural chemical compounds that we use, it should not be interact with food components. So we are trying to develop a product that will not interact with like food protein or other components in there, like enzymes or other things that present in the food, also fat. Also, company wants tailored solution for a specific problem. So we are trying to customize our product for each specific organism. Like we have our product only for bacteria, and also we have our product only for yeast and mold. So some company comes to us that they have only their problem yeast and mold. They want to get rid of this. So they doesn't care about bacteria. So we have our formulation only for that problem. And we have our also solution for bacteria. And sometimes the meat company, they want like broad spectrum because their product contaminated with like yeast, mold, fungi, and also with bacteria. So we have two types of product, like a specific customizable and also broad spectrum. And also, when we develop a product, that product needs to be no organoleptic impact. That means the food, taste, color, or visual impact should not be changed. So we also take care about that. And also it's an effective preservative. That means company wants preservative use very low concentration. So they want to reduce their cost. Obviously, the food is a consumable product, and every day we take that. So it should be in very low price. So our product, our preservative should be active in the limit, like very low concentration, like 10 to 50 ppm. We trying to reduce that concentration much more low, like 1 to 10 ppm. We are working on that. So what's this mushroom extract? That's natural preservative. It's actually chitin or chitosan. Chitosan is a derivative of chitin. So this chitin actually from mushroom cell wall, they have some biopolymers. So this chitin present on that mushroom wall. So now I will explain that later. But chitin is a linear biopolymer formed by N-acetyl D-glucosamine unit linked by glucoside beta-1,4 bonds. And chitin also the second abundant biopolymer after cellulose in nature. At chitosan, we get that chitosan after the deacetylation of the chitin. Here is a simple structure of chitosan. So the main source for chitosan, like I already told, it's a marine source, like the crustaceous cells, and also the insect. We can also get the insects from the insect shell wall. And the main that we are working now, it's from fungus or mushroom. We previously also worked with different types of fungi. Now we are working with the mushroom because mushroom is a huge quantities available and we can reuse it. And different types of industry, their byproduct is mushroom. They are just throwing their byproduct, so we want to reuse it. So mushroom chitosan, I already told about chitin. So once we do the deacetylation of chitin, we got the chitosan. So chitosan is a polycationic polysaccharide made of glucosamine and N-acetyl glucosamine. So it extracts from the white button and oyster mushrooms, and it has a long history of safe use in nutraceutical, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, medical device. Chitosan is a healthy dietary fiber and antioxidant. The thing is, there's from long time this research is running on chitosan, and everyone I think know that chitosan is a preservative, but no one think about that it could be used in a food by replacing the synthetic preservative. So we are trying to bring that in the market, and we would like to commercial that things. We'd like to replace the synthetic preservatives using our chitosan preservatives. So it's natural, vegan, kosher, halal, and also other things. So what's the main advantages and disadvantages of mushroom chitosan compared to traditional chitosan? The main advantage, actually in Canada, there's no seasonal variation for mushroom chitosan, because we know Canada all year there's a long term in winter, so we didn't get the seafood during the winter time, so we are not able to get the shrimp shell or lobster shell in winter. But fungal source like mushroom, we can use any time in the year. Also, it's free from heavy metal. Like in our marine environment, now it's a big risk for the environmental pollution. There's a lot of heavy metal. After extraction, if we checked the marine source chitosan, we have to be confirmed that there's the heavy metal limit like lead or nickel or chromium. There should be, there's a limit like 0.02 microgram per kilo, like that's level, that needs to be checked. It's also free from allergen. And the important thing, during fungal chitosan production, it's very easy to maintain the molecular weight and degree of deacetylation. And another thing, with Crestonus shell, we never get like deacetylation, degree of deacetylation more than 75 to 80%. But all the time from fungal chitosan, we easily get 90 to 95% degree of deacetylation. That is very good for any product development, and also the degree, also for the antimicrobial activity. It's biocompatible, and also I already told fungal chitosan can be a good byproduct of fungi-based industries. But all the product has some disadvantages, so our mushroom-based chitosan also has disadvantages. Crestonus-based chitosan already industrially established, but mushroom chitosan is still working on that. And the availability and the quantity, because we are getting this chitosan from the fungus cell wall, so it depends on how much chitin or the biopolymer present there. Even if it's there, there's some mixture of components present, and we have to take out that from that shells. So after extraction, purification, everything, we get a very low quantity. So we are trying to improve that, how we can improve. So, but marine source, it's easily available, and we get, our marine source is huge. So that's yield is a big concern. Production cost is higher than that, and also limited number of commercial producers. We would be one of them. So the industry that have the byproduct fungi or biomass, like brewing and baking company, at their end of the production, they have left some fungi like Saccharomyces. So here we can see that 130 ton yeast per year in wineries in India, and also greater than 1,000 tons in Australia. Also in mushroom cultivation, mushroom normally Aspergillus niger or Aspergillus bisporus or Mycorrhizae. So mushroom waste, mainly stalks and fruit body of irregular dimensions. So 5 to 10% of produce, approximately 50,000 ton of waste per year. And if we look for the organic acids industries like citric acid, formic acid, lactic acid, this industry normally their leftover fungi left like Aspergillus niger, Mycorrhizae or Rhizopus. So more than 80,000 ton of waste Aspergillus niger biomass per year. So if we look for pharmaceutical industries, it's antibiotics and other. So cephalosporin in their cephalosporin, or if we look cyclosporin, penicillin in their fields. I know few company, they asked for that after their production. They have left a lot of mushroom, so they don't know what to do with that. So they are just throwing that. So in that, if we look here, then we can see that the penicillin production is greater than 80% of the total yield of antibiotics. 1 ton penicillin produced 8 to 10 tons of waste. Similarly, like enzymes, amylase, amyloglucosidase, catalase, cellulase, different types of enzymes, they also, after production, they have the fungi like Aspergillus niger or IZ. The Proteus market owed also 2,767 million by 2019. So here I'm going to explain a little bit the process that how we extract our chitosan from mushroom. So not only mushroom, if we get Rhizopus oryzae or Aspergillus niger, Aspergillus is one type of mushroom. If we get that biomass, first we have to ferment that biomass. And then after getting the fermentation, then we treat that biomass with alkali, like sodium hydroxide, with a definite pH and temperature. After extracting the cell wall, here the step is not that easy. We have to extract that. We have to remove the insoluble parts. Then after getting the extracted cell wall, then we treat that with acid. We're trying to replace this step, like normally industry, they're using sulfuric acid. So we are trying to replace that with lactic acid. It's taking time. So we are trying to optimize that steps. So treatment with acid, that will remove the bacterial cells phosphate parts. And then we will get chitin and chitosan complex. That chitin and chitosan we will again treat with alkali, that sodium hydroxide with high pH, and we will get the chitin and chitosan, and the waste part we remove that. And then we treat it with lactic acid extraction, normally to do the removal of chitosan. And when we increase the pH, then the chitosan precipitates, because chitosan is insoluble in higher pH. It's only soluble in lower pH. So once we get that chitosan, we have to again soluble it in acid in order to get the purification done, or we have to do that couple of times that. Then we do washing, drying, and now we are trying to develop our drying. Now we are working with food biotech, PI food biotech, to optimize the drying. So we tried with freeze dryer, vacuum dryer, and fluid bed dryer, and also spray drying, but spray drying is costly and time consuming. But we are getting that fluid bed dryer should be the optimum one. So within October, we will get our final optimized results that on which drying we will be going on. So here is some fungi. This is just a simple information. That's how much yield we get, like the chitosan we get after like all of this extraction process. Like per kilo of Aspergillus niger, we get only 4.3 gram. So we are trying to improve this. And also mucorrhizae, it's 60 to 75 gram. For Rhizopus oryzae, we get 50 gram per kilo. And also Garnella bulteri, it's 40 to 138 gram. Absida glucoca, it's 59 gram. And Absida corella, it's 30 to 110 gram. There's a lot of others, but the first three, Aspergillus niger, mucorrhizae, and Rhizopus oryzae, that three are most important, and we are trying to take care of this because it's availability, due to the availability. So what's our technology? Is after getting the chitosan, we are on this work we are working now on, it's under development. We get a definite molecular weight after extracting the chitosan, like 200 or 300 kilodalton. We are trying to formulate that molecular weight, like customizing. We are trying to degrade that molecular weights in different lower molecular weights, and then we try to check like different microorganisms. So first we specify the molecular weight and the degree of deacetylation, and then we optimize the molecular weight for each specific microorganism. Like 30 molecular weight is working against Candida, but 100 molecular weight is working against E. coli, and like 200 is working against lactobacillus. So we are trying to customize that molecular weight, and now we are working on the development of broader spectrum, that how we, if we combine that not all the combination working against like all microorganisms, but we are trying to develop a formulation that will be working as a broader spectrum like Candida, E. coli, and Lactobacillus. We know to kill bacteria, it's not that easy, but we are trying to get like a percentage, like this much inhibition percentage we can get, like 20%, this one like 50% or 80%. Our target is more than 50%. So I think I already explained that. So this broad spectrum formulation mainly for juice and beverages, the main concern is for yeast and mold. But for customized formulation like meat industry, they are coming to us for Listeria or raw meat, E. coli. And sometimes vegetables, they just want like gram-negative, like E. coli or Salmonella. Their main concern is only for that. So our customized formulation will be used for this type of different types of food industry. So here just a little bit presentation about our preservatives antimicrobial activity. That's how our preservatives works. Actually, normally we do different types of antimicrobial tests. We do like diffusion assay, also like MIC we already did. Now we are checking like challenge test. Like we put our preservatives in food and then we inoculate that food with different microorganisms, and then we checked during time how that preservatives kills the bacteria during time. It kills or not, or how much it's killing, or it's completely killing initially. So this is one challenge test results. It shows that if we use like 10 ppm, as low as 10 ppm, the Saccharomyces, the inhibition percentage is 51%. And for 50 ppm, it's 73.47%, and 100 ppm, it's 75%. So that means that until 100%, we are getting around 75% for Saccharomyces. And for Pichia, we are getting like 66% at 10 ppm. Similarly, for 50 ppm, we are getting 87%. That's close to 90%. So this demonstrates that our natural preservatives working really well, and it demonstrates that it can kill the yeast and mold. I don't have the permission to show the results for bacteria because there's some intellectual things are in our company, so then don't permit me to show all the results. So I'm just showing a little bit. I'm sorry about that. So actually this research, all the time, as a scientist, I told that I need to do more research on that. Because how chitosan kills the shell wall. There should be some more research on that. It's normally recognized that amino group disrupts the negative groups of bacterial cell, like the phosphate shells, bacterial. That shells, disrupt that shells and it kills when it gets contact with bacteria or yeast or fungi. But there's a controversy about gram-negative bacteria, because gram-negative bacteria has an extra layer. So how chitosan also working on that, that's the controversy, but we are still working on that. So our chitosan has, we are working on like beverages and alcoholic beverages, like ready-to-eat drink. Our customer is now only beverage company, and there will be coming on some meat company. So we have tested our products in different types of beverages, like flavored water, ready-to-eat drink, tea, carbonated soft drinks, fruit juice. And we tested like the shelf lives, total aerobic bacteria, and also yeast, lactobacillus. So it seems that our chitosan effective range is 3.5 to 8, but sometimes it doesn't work actually in higher pH, because chitosan precipitates. It makes some solubility in juices or in other products. So we try to, but most of the food product pH range not more than 5. So we are okay with this. And also no sensory impact on the beverages, we checked that, and it's effective as low as 10 ppm that I already showed. And our next work would be on the development of confectionery products like chocolate, soft drinks, or bread, and also some snacks and dairy produce. Okay, so I'm done here. If you have any questions. Thank you.